In Minnesota, hockey is more than just a team sport. It's a family sport, a community sport, a sport that brings together friends, neighborhoods, and high schools. Because in Minnesota, community support for hockey is as big a part of the team as any player. From the kid who dreams of putting on their team's varsity jersey, to the mom who wears her pride on her sleeve, to the rink manager who makes sure the ice is perfect for every practice and every period. In Minnesota, a hockey team means an entire hockey community. This is the story of one of those communities going for it all. This is the story of Moorhead Hockey. This is Dream State.
Chris can tell you I'm not much of an emotional guy, but tonight was going to be sad either way. It's not like we came here thinking, oh geez, this is an experience here. We came here to win the darn thing. We came up short.
I don't see myself as an emotional person. And on Saturday, I couldn't control my emotion after the game. That's something that I guess St. Paul does to you.
As a hockey player, I've never been so devastated in my life as just getting so close to a goal that throughout all your youth years and watching on TV that's what you work for, is to win a state championship or even get to state.
Bus ride home, it was tough. I mean, we were all really sad that we lost, but it was also like, that was one of the best experiences of our lives.
I don't think it's really hit me yet even. For sure not on that bus ride home, where kids were playing knee hockey at home, like state championship, we're in overtime, like you just dream of that.
It's not always the best team. It's the team that's the best that night. And that night we just weren't good enough. You know, Grand Rapids did a phenomenal job, especially early in the first period. And we definitely had pushback in the second period, but it just wasn't enough.
High Plains, where your dog can run away and you can still see him running 3 days later. That's how flat it is. And the state tree is the telephone pole.
This town that has gotten bigger is made up of small town people, and small town people have a loyalty to what is around them, whether it be family, friends, community. We take care of each other.
I just think we have something really special here. We're a community that has plenty of resources for kids if they really want to be successful. And that's in all aspects, not just hockey. We have a community that's proud of being from Morehead and proud of being Spuds.
They're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet coming from Chicagoland area. You're not used to people being so nice. They work, they go to church, they watch hockey.
Well, hockey was maybe third or fourth tier initially because it just was an unknown sport. It was football, it was basketball, it was track. And some people had some concern about hockey coming in and ruining everything.
We were 2 houses away from Alm Park. And next thing you know, everybody in the neighborhood, they're skating. So guess what? You're a creature of habit, so you hang out with those guys and a bunch of good guys, and we all start playing hockey. The Centennial Arena, that was our first indoor ice in 1972 in Morehead. And then finally this rink, the Morehead Sports Center, was built in 1974, so Morehead had their own rink to play in. So that's what was the start of hockey here in this town. Morehead was a real football town at the time. They had a very strong football program. Jim Goda was a very good coach there. And Chuck had to fight the battle with Mike Hyostik to get hockey going. I mean, we have pictures of us in our practice jerseys. It was football jerseys that we were practicing in.
And we were kind of the doormats of the section. 10-0 was, 10-1 would be good for us.
You could scrimmage somebody, so we somehow got Roseau. They beat us 17-0 in the scrimmage, and then I used to wonder, how come we can't get Roseau on the schedule? Well, they'd drive by us and go to the cities, well, a few years later, we were kicking on them a little bit.
Terry Shirkliff's magic is what has made Moorhead hockey the way it is today. He knew how to teach the game. He knew how to keep it going in such a way that it was played right.
And we'd have some success against the other towns that we hadn't had before, and and then keep increasing the schedule. And so our wins and losses maybe weren't that great, but if you look back, the schedule kept improving. The strength of the schedule, competition, just seeing the growth was just a lot of fun.
Terry Cullen came in and coached them from that point on. And since they teamed up, it's been a whole different thing.
I was thinking, well, we'll be co-coaches. And then we talked a little, and he said, well, no. He said, I'm not cut out to be a co-coach.
Terry Shirkliff was a friend of mine, and so he asked me if I'd be interested in possibly coming, and things worked out. And so I worked with him for all the time that I was here. We were partners.
Well, that turned out to be one of the biggest successful decisions that we've made, bringing in someone like Terry and having the two of them coach together. And then we had that consistency in the high school program with the same coaches every year.
Interesting with Terry was we never talked about winning ever during the season. That was just, it's not part of it. All, let's get better, let's get better, let's get better. We tell them, your practice is going to be much harder than your game ever will be, and game is your time, practice is our time as far as coaches. We had the weighted sand-weighted vests, and kids said, oh God, here's 30 minutes of hell coming for us, but when you win, you can keep plucking because they want to be part of it.
But everybody wanted to get good. They wanted to become a hockey power. We had everything here. It was just a matter of everybody pulling together and getting it done.
It's not that we're doing it the right way or the only way, but we're doing it consistently the same way, and you can get things accomplished there.
Terry Cullen's high-scoring Moorhead Spuds had rolled through the Tourney's early rounds and looked ready to capture their first state title.
I remember coming over the little hill and seeing the rink and the excitement, and I remember calling other coaches who had been there and trying to get some help on how they prepared. And I remember that was a year we were probably not expected to be there yet. We had some good young players coming, but we got probably further than we were expected. We got to the title game. The end result wasn't very good, but we were pretty damn happy to be there. I remember that.
Growing up in Morehead, it was something that your family just did in March. You went to the state tournament, and especially in the 90s, it was weird if Morehead wasn't there.
The support of the community, the support of the organization was the key in making Moorhead grow as a hockey town. I remember working clearly with the Pee Wee and the Bantam coaches regularly, Dennis Bushy, and everybody was on the same page.
I used to have Coach Cullen come and talk to the kids in the locker room, and by God, as soon as he'd step into the locker room, they'd pay attention big time.
And for me coming in here, I think the pressure was that I just wanted to keep improving and keep getting it better if I can. The whole goal is to go to the state tournament. Every year we start, that is the goal. We're going to the state tournament. That's our expectations. The very, very first year, I took over from Terry Cullen because that was his expectation, and then doggone it, it's going to be mine.
Coach Shirkliff and Coach Cullen, brought the program to statewide significance. Coach Morinville took the next step in continuing that tradition, bringing teams back year after year after year.
I just don't know of another community that stresses the development and consistency in the program. You could talk maybe to a 35-year-old guy right now, And he can tell you when he practiced, what day, and today is the same. Today our squirts practice every Monday and Thursday. They practice at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 7:15. It's been the same since in the 80s.
You look at it now, how organized everything is. I mean, these guys are rookies and they have organized practices. They're going through cones and stuff like that. I didn't see a cone until I got to high school.
We have a phenomenal youth hockey association, and the things that they do at that level enable us at the high school level to be as successful as we are.
And it's not just what we do here. I mean, we get the product of what's being sent to us from our youth. That's been something that consistency has been able to be maintained through Terry Strick with Terry Cullen, Dave Morinville, Peter Cullen, now John. I mean, it's that consistency has always been there, and that's what we're benefiting from.
To be successful, you have to show up on time, okay? And you got to be accountable. And that's the big thing at playing. When you show up to a game, you got to be ready to play the game. Well, you show up to work, you don't just show up to work. You got to show up to work.
We practice harder than anyone else, I think, and we got to games and it made life easy. And you know, we watched video, we traveled like no one else. I only started playing here in BAMS, but that was the expectation from day one: is you work hard, and you know, we'll give you what you need to get better, and you got to take advantage of it.
You know, we've had a Stanley Cup champion, we've had Olympians, so the dreams that you can have here, they're not too big. And a lot of the people that have come through our program dream the same thing and also had the same coaches, the same resources. Throughout the past 2 or 3 decades, it's happened more than once, so it's obviously not by accident.
Looking back when I was a kid, I never dreamed of playing in the NHL or really probably even playing college. I always just wanted to be on the high school team. Like, that was my ultimate goal, was to be on the Spuds. So I think that's kind of the culture that we all grew up in. I mean, that's like the ultimate, is to play on the high school team. You know, and now that the program has had some success, it's even more so. And you see the kids at the games, and I've been to a few games over the years, and you know, whenever my schedule allows, and you see it, it's awesome. Like, the culture around it is so cool. The kids are into it. They're all at the game. They all have fun, you know, and I think the high school program, they all do a good job of including everybody, and it's all one big program, and it's awesome.
You know, I'd come to games growing up, actually, and watching like the team in 04 and 05 with Brian Lee and Chris Van de Velde and those guys, and I remember me and my dad just trying to find a seat. You know, I thought it was the coolest thing watching them, and I thought I was watching the NHL, and you know, it was a big deal for me, and you know, made that dream start to become a reality.
And I think the players understand how much Spud hockey means to not only just the players and the parents that year, but how much it means to the community of everybody having success.
Good evening, everybody. No other hockey program in the state of Minnesota has had more runner-up finishes without winning a championship than the Moorhead Spuds.
I know how successful we have been at the state tournament, and many people will say, well, Moorhead's got 8 losses. They've lost 8 times in the state championship. There's not a hell of a lot of schools that have went to a state championship game.
There's always a break in the game. Did it go your way or not your way? You know, a penalty call, maybe a goal was disallowed. And those things, we just have never had that break in that state championship game, and it's gonna happen. It'll happen.
I don't want to say go crazy, because that sometimes takes a negative turn, but it'll be wild. It'll be exciting. Just to watch the kids have that opportunity, that'd be pretty awesome.
I don't even know what people would do, to be honest. There'd be parties, everyone freaking out. The community's just been waiting for this for so long.
The community would be going crazy. I mean, I can't imagine what it'd be like.
You know, regardless of what happens with the team, you're always proud of them, and we know the kids that are on that team, and we're proud of those kids, and we just hope for the best for them, and I would love to see them win for them, not so much for the program. The program is fine, but we'd love to see a group of kids come through and win it, and be that group that can do it.
It'll be nice. We'll finally have one, but it's not going to improve our program. We're going to do the same darn thing that we do every year.
I think it'll be a vindication once it finally does happen. it's going to happen. And I hope this group gets to be a part of it, or I hope I get to be a part of it. But it'll also be a really good opportunity to say thank you to guys like Bushy and Coach Shercliffe and Coach Cullen, and hopefully it's this year.
This year's team has the obstacle of trying to duplicate what they did last year, not the least of which the fact is the other teams know it. There are other teams out there that think they should be there as well, and they're going to do everything that they can to prevent this. It's going to be a battle. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a battle to see who can come out.
We know everyone else's expectations. They want to make the state and they want to win state too. We always know every game. We always have a target on our backs. You know, teams circle that Moorhead game on their schedule every year. So we always know we have to bring our all every game.
Everyone, every single team, every single community is working towards that goal to get to be the final 8 teams, single A and double A, and Moorhead puts a lot of pride into that and throughout the season and working hard, and obviously everyone's goal is to get there, but you know, after last year, our expectations have been very high, and along with a lot of other people's expectations of us.
We always talk about you can control 2 things, your attitude and your effort. And you know, there's a whole bunch of things that people and kids get caught up in. Sometimes you don't have the best day, or sometimes you don't feel as well as you should, but you need to wake up and you need to confront the next day. It's really easy to sleep in if you don't feel 100%. It's also really easy to lose.
I've been here for a while, so I mean, I've played since my freshman year, and I've seen it all. I've seen how teams are up and teams are down, and I feel like I'm an important part to show people like how it's supposed to be done, how you're supposed to practice, how you're supposed to prepare. We need to come together as a team. I mean, we got a few skilled guys, but we're more of a team that has everyone who needs to put in their work and contribute to the team.
Real success comes when the kids start to buy into what others are doing, and we can yell and scream.
The backhands and saucer passes are gonna kill me. And also, 2 face-offs right in a row, we got outworked.
And blow the whistle.
Start over. We can make a 10-foot pass. We can make a 10-foot pass. Ready?
But until they really start to buy into each other, it's not worth it.
We're really excited for this team we have right now, and I know I'm excited, I know the other captains are excited, the parents, the community in general, everyone's super excited for this year. We're not making excuses, and we have a long ways to go from here.
This goes with just being from Moorhead, is there's a responsibility to continue to do what's happened before us. I don't know that we're reinventing the wheel or coming up with any new tricks or adding our own flair. You know, I would imagine some people think that, but we're just trying to do our best with what they've put forward.
You know, being a Spud is putting all your effort into hockey and your community. You know, Matt Cullen and those guys' era, they kind of set a good example for us, and that's kind of the same thing as we want to set a good example for those young kids. When you get to big games and stuff, and even the state tournament, you kind of really see your community come together, and that's something I've never experienced really before, and that was one of probably the greatest feelings ever. It's not necessarily just the hockey, it's just seeing your community come around and being full supporting to you guys, and that's something that you don't experience too often.
After last year even, we had our team meetings, almost everyone said we want to win a state tournament. So it's an expectation for us that we want to be in that state tournament and we want to win that game.
When you were younger, like young, who was your most favorite hockey player on the Spuds?
There's a responsibility to continue to do what's happened before us. We and our alumni from Morehead identify as being a Spud. The people that come back, or the people that scatter, really rally around what it is to be from Morehead.
What's your most favorite hockey moment? When I scored my first goal.
I was blessed enough to grow up in a family where hockey is just kind of a tradition, and even more blessed to grow up in a community like Moorhead where they just create such a great environment for you to learn to love the game.
To be a Spud to me is to work hard all the time, every shift and every time you take the ice. You gotta be your best and work your hardest.
We're doing this for our friends, and not only us, and it's also our community that's been behind us our whole high school and whole youth years too.
It's about making sure that kids are able to dream, and as an adult, supporting their dream. It's fun for us because it's a different challenge, and it's a new group of kids, and it's new personalities. In February, hopefully we made the right decisions in November and December.
This season on Dream State.
Let's figure it out here, okay? The game of hockey isn't an easy one. We need to make sure we're gaining zones. We need to make sure we're winning races.
It's built off yesterday, boys. Feed the dogs.
The biggest thing, especially with an earlier game, is who's going to be more excited to play right off the bat. 63! This is a really special opportunity for you guys, and it's nothing that us coaches have done, it's what you guys have done. By the third period, they're not going to want to be walking around out here because they're going to be embarrassed by how hard we work. Go! When we do things the right way, we start to be rewarded. We've had success. Let's continue to do it and keep our foot on the gas pedal.